Hey, this is Shiraz, and before we get started, I just want to let you know that when I clear something for someone, when I cause a shift, I tend to yawn and cough from the energetic shift that happens. I don't know why it happens. It's just how my body works. And if you don't know that, you're going to listen to this video and go, what the hell is wrong with this guy? You might still think that, but now there's more of an explanation. The other thing to keep in mind is that if you hear something that you can absolutely relate to, when I cleared for them, you can get it cleared for you too. Just say yes when they're saying yes, and it works. I have people that watch these videos every morning to get stuff cleared. This can be your new morning habit too. Okay, that's enough for that. Let's get on with the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you get a great shift out of it. See you soon.
Mine is it safe to be successful in business, or will I be on someone's radar that I don't want to be?
All right. So is it safe to be in business because people are going to, was it not like you or attack you? What was the thing there, Paige? You need to unmute again.
Yeah, that there might be some kind of trouble from people who don't like what I'm doing for whatever
Yep.
reason.
Okay. Now here's the thing. There might be. But if you're concerned that there might be, you will keep yourself small to make sure there won't be. Okay. Whenever you become more successful, more visible, there's going to be a bunch of people that are like, oh my God, go Paige. There are going to be a bunch of people that have never heard of you go, who the hell is Paige? I love Paige. This is great. I'm glad I found her. But there's going to be a bunch of people going, ooh, who's that Paige girl? Oh, God, what is she doing? Who does she think she is? And what you tend to do is let that little group of people that don't like what you're doing affect your results. All right. You have to be willing for people to hate your guts as you get more successful. Because here's what's happening is when you're doing good work, and I'm just going to put like made up numbers because the ratios change from person to person stuff. You'll get like 100 people loving you and this one person hating you. Right. And you may say, okay, you know what? There's just the one person I can do. I've got 100 people that love me. Right. And then your business grows and your business grows. And now you've got 10,000 people loving you, but now you've got 100 people hating you. And what you tend to do is instead of say, well, but the ratio is exactly the same, you're like, I don't want 100 people. I was okay with one person hating me. I can't do 100 people. So I'm not going to allow myself to get to 10,000. I'm going to say it's small because it's got to be under 10. Right. So what you're doing now is depriving 10,000 people of your wisdom, of your influence, of your healing, of everything for the sake of 100 people. Right. So what we want to do here is get you to a space where it's okay for people to hate your guts because what you're doing is amazing. Right. You can't play small for the sake of other people that love to stay small. So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to make sure no one hates you as your business grows?
Yes. And the more people I have in my community to help me out, the better things will be.
Yep. Okay. Now I'm getting something, and it may not be from you, or someone else in the group, but so we have to go the other way too. As your influence grows and people look up to you and people work with you, you want to be a contribution to them, but you don't want to be responsible for them because responsibility is a heavy energy. And if you feel the more people that follow you, the more people work with you, the more people you got to be responsible for, you're going to stay small because you don't want to create all of that. So there, and this is the thing, you can be a contribution without being responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, some people aren't going there. Some people are like, no, I got to do both. No. Here's the thing. If you're responsible for a client, let's say you're a life coach and you're responsible for a client and you don't get the full results you want out of that particular session. You did a great session, but you didn't quite get there. Then you go to the next session and you're responsible for that first session. So part of your brain is like, how could I have made that better? What could I have done? So you're not fully present in this session. So then you don't get the results you want in this session. You go to the next session. And now you're even further up because now you're worrying about these two people. And then you go session after session after session, and you're getting less effective. You're getting more stressed. You're getting more tired because of all this responsibility, right? Now, if you say, I'm just going to be the biggest contribution I can to this person in this session, and if it doesn't go perfectly, that's fine. Now I'm going to be the biggest contribution in this session because that one's over. It's done. Now we're present here. Then you're always showing up and fully for each person. And it's lighter. You don't use up as much energy. You have more fun and you're more effective. So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to be responsible for everyone you work with?
Yes.
Okay, how's that feel?
Somewhat better, at least in a more focused way. And hopefully the big energy powerhouses I can bring into my corner can also help me focus, so I'm not so scared with which tools to use and what to do.
Yeah, and here's the thing, if you have a lot of tools, you're just in that session, when you're present, your intuition will say, use this one. Okay, now use this one. And so get out of your head and just go with what you're being pulled to do, right? I used to be in my head a lot, and I'm like, this is the technique I use in this situation. This is the technique I use in this situation. And when I stopped doing that, sometimes like the person's telling me about, what was it? She was telling me about these financial situations she was having, and all I kept thinking about was a suitcase. And I'm thinking, why am I thinking of a suitcase in this session? And so I said, well, it's telling me that, so I better say something about a suitcase. But when I opened my mouth, instead of saying, does a suitcase mean anything to you? I said, who are you putting in your suitcase and taking with you wherever you go? And I'm like, what the hell was that? Why would I say that? Right? And she looked at me just matter of factly, oh, my roommate. I'm like, what? Goes, that made sense to you? She goes, yeah, my roommate's always giving me travel advice. So I actually say to myself, I put her in my suitcase with me and take her with me. I'm like, oh, and that led us to this conversation about a roommate. And she was having issues that she didn't want to make too much more money than her roommate, because then her roommate will feel bad because she's living with someone so successful. And then she didn't want to, they were so close. She was worried if she made more money, would she want a better place and leave her roommate? There was all this money stuff wrapped up in the roommate conversation, which was nowhere near where we were supposed to be, but that's where we needed to be, right? So just go with the intuition. It's always going to be right.
Then that can be the case for business tools also.
Yep. Okay, cool. How you doing?
Yep, better.
All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a like. And if you had a shift of your own, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Also, check out the description for energetic magic events that you can attend every single month. Be well, be aware, and be magical.